for you. And he just kind of put his head down. He said, it's not really working for me. I'm really sick and tired of playing this game, and I would like some more soundproof answers right here. And we opened up this topic with him, the law of thermodynamics. He says, this makes sense to me. I can see how this isn't a gimmick. This is the truth, and this is my body, and I want to give it the truth. You know, and we started off with the questions. He says, O'Brien, how many calories do I need to eat then? You know, we talk about energy in equals energy out. Let's just talk about the energy in portion right there. How do I figure that out? Are there formulas that I can follow, and where do I go from that? So I'll pass it over once again to Jay.
You'll see on your article or your manual the different formulas that we use there. Basal metabolic rate is where it really starts. And the basal metabolic rate is what is the minimal caloric requirements that your body needs to consume on a daily basis to sustain life, almost at rest. Then from there, that's the first place to start, is what does it take just to live? You'll notice on your manual, you're going to have different calculations. There's a general calculation, a little bit more accurate calculation, and then the more specific calculation. All three are great. You can start with the general. Obviously, if your aspirations are higher, your fire is stoked, you want the results, well, then you would go into the more accurate calculation. You would need to work with your fitness professional, a Brian or a Jay or whoever you're aligned with, to take your body fat, to give you more guidance and to go over those formulas. If you're overwhelmed by some of the formulas, you start with the general, and that gives you a real good guideline from there. And even if you were to start with the general calculation and find out, okay, this is what it takes to sustain my life without activity, well then when you start journaling, if you're getting the results you require, the law of thermodynamics, you're probably right on. If you're not, well, there's got to be tweaks to that. Once we figure out your basal metabolic rate, you'll look back into your article or your manual and you'll start looking at your activity measurement chart. And that's a big one too. And that's saying, okay, we've got what it takes to sustain life. Well, what else are you doing? And you'll look at it, and if you look through your charts, you have activity multiplier. You have the sedentary, the lightly active, the moderate activity, very active, and extremely activity. It's a pretty user-friendly chart, and you just follow the formulas. Whatever, if you see in parentheses the activity that you do per week, there's your multiplication, and you go from there. You take your basal metabolic rate and you multiply it by your activity multiplier, and that gives you how many calories does it take for you, how many calories per day are you expending, and that's huge. Once you know that, let's say if you look at your example, we take the 2,000 calorie diet, we have the activity multiplier, and it comes out with 2750 per day. Then it's all based on what is your goal. If you want to maintain your weight, you need to consume 2750. If you want to build muscle, it's got to be 2750 or slightly greater. If you want to lose body weight, it's got to be 2750. It's got to be a little bit less than that. And we talked about that 500 calorie deficit as a nice sound general guidance from there. But that's, when we get into how many calories, that's the first place to start. In getting into there, then it gets right back into, and you'll know one of our big topics is going to be journaling. It's journaling. Is that number true? Is it completely accurate? If you're really being honest with yourself, if you're journaling properly, and if your accuracy is there, and if you're not losing body weight, or if you're not gaining muscle, whatever your goal is, you need to make the proper tweaks. You need to either increase or you need to decrease your calories.
And most importantly, you also have to make sure that what your goal is, if it is to lose weight, that you truly want that goal. And we find that to be so true with people. Yeah, they say, I would like to lose weight. And once you start figuring out the formula, you got to really ask yourself, do you really truly want to lose weight, or do you really truly want to gain muscle? And do you want to go through this process? Because it's a winning formula. It's going to win. It's, do you want it or not? And again, if you want it, it's going to happen. And if you question it, it's going to be a little roller coaster ride. That concludes the first law of thermodynamics.
Because it's, not to interrupt, but it's because it's unrelentless. It is the facts. These are the calories, and Brian, you named the biggest thing. It's how stoked are you to get to the desired results, because it is not simple. It's simple to come up with the formula. It's simple to figure out how many calories. It's a whole other ballgame to actually do it, and to do it for a while, to sustain it. 1 week's not going to work. You need to tell your body, this is what I want to do. I want to put on muscle. or I want to lose weight, or I want to maintain. It's got to be proof. Proof's in the pudding. Your body's got to say, you know what, Brian? You want to lose weight? You've been in this 500 calorie deficit. It's been not only 1 week, 2 weeks. We're at our 8th. We're at our 12th week. Well, the results start going, and they go. Are they quick to begin? It's really dependent on what your past exercise activity is. All those different variables that we indicated. It might be quick. It might not be. If it isn't, can you sustain it? How bad do you want it inside? And if you can really look at yourself in the mirror and say, I really want this, Brian nailed it. This is the winning formula. This is the place to start. And then the various topics that we're going to go over are going to be accessories to this. It's going to build upon this and talk about preparing and planning. Talk about the journaling. Talk about what is a carbohydrate, what is protein, what is fat, all of that. It's going to talk about those macronutrients and the micronutrients. Going to get you more educated in everything so that you have a better chance to win.
Absolutely. And you can see right now, we can continue going on and on and on. We really want and hope that you'll take this law of thermodynamics and you'll understand it again, its relationship to the human body and how you can receive the results. Again, hopefully you're the one of the three, maintaining weight, losing weight, or gaining weight. And again, we firmly believe in the law of thermodynamics because it stood the test of time, and that has been so true for so many years. This concludes the first lesson of Eat to Win seminar series. Our next lesson is going to be preparing and planning. So we look forward to joining you in on that. Thank you very much, and thank you, Jay.
Thank you.